Welcome back to Midnight Viewing. I'm your host, Father Malone, and with me, looking through the works of Roald Dahl in television form, Mr. Mike White from the projection booth. How are you, Mike?
That's just a big old pain in the neck.
And we are, like I said, looking at Tales of the Unexpected, which ran for a whopping 9 series, topping out in 112 episodes, spanning from March 24th, 1979 until May the 13th, 1988. Tonight we are looking at the next 2 episodes in the series. Those are episodes 4 and 5, The Landlady and the Neck. The Landlady aired on April the 21st, 1979, written by Robin Chapman from a story by Roald Dahl. This one was directed by Herbert Wise, starring Siobhan McKenna and Leonard Preston. This one is, well, it's a man rents a B&B. The end.
Yeah, should have used
Some of,
Verbo.
yeah, some of these, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be really succinct episodes of Midnight Viewing. There's, let's say, not a lot of plot going on, a lot of story, not a lot of plot.
No. What, two settings, maybe three? There's in the train at the beginning with the priest, and then maybe they talk on the street, if memory serves, and then there's the
Very
B&B.
briefly, yeah.
Yeah, and this reminds me of those times where I used to go to B&Bs where you've got the very overly chatty person that's running it. I mean, that's why I do prefer Verbos. Is just get the hell out of this house. I want to use it versus, oh, let me talk with you and fix you breakfast and you need to live by my house rules and all these things. No, thanks. I'm good with just a hotel at that point.
I've left out your slippers. No. No, thank
Uh-uh.
you.
No.
My,
Do
I
you just do
appreciate
this
it.
so you can talk with people? Are you that lonely? Do you want to murder me and stuff me and put me in the attic?
The answer is yes across the board for all the B
Yes.
and B's, even the Airbnbs. This one had narration at the very beginning, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is interesting. A third person omniscient narrator that doesn't really come back. Thought that was interesting. Here's something that I like across the board with this series and the previous series, which is that they allow characters to think on screen. It isn't about cutting away and getting to the next thing. I know this episode in particular is, I want to say, glacially paced, which sounds terrible. I don't mean it in that way. I just mean it does take its time. Slow burn. That's what the kids love to hear. And so just watching the character, like looking at a sign and coming to a decision and then going in, I like when we get to watch a character think. That's all. And I think this series does that a lot.
What is interesting too, looking at the way that this is put together, I mentioned the different settings, and we actually go to the Airbnb lady before she's introduced. We see her, she's introduced to us as the audience before even the idea of a B&B is introduced to our main character, this young chap,
And that is true, yeah.
which is very odd. It's an interesting choice. And I kind of like there's makes you think that he's just fated to be there. And also, I don't know, I watch this on my Plex server and the image that comes up for every single episode while as I'm hitting play is her hanging that sign, the bed and breakfast sign. So I for the last few episodes, I'm just like, what is this from? When am I going to meet this lady who's hanging this sign? So I'm glad to have finally met her. And I think that the actress playing her is fantastic. She really has this kind of it's a tough role to play, right? Because you're mentally unwell, but you're also very cheerful.
Yeah, you have to come off as dotty and not deranged. And that's a
Yeah.
really fine line to walk because she does have to give off a more sinister edge so that we can at least question her motives because otherwise it's just cuckoo old Elaine.
And I like the way that the mystery is set up, where it's oh, be sure to sign the guest book. And then he starts to see the names that he recognizes. And for me as an audience member, I'm like, okay, where's he know these names? And the way he keeps talking about them familiarly, I'm like, were they his coworkers? I'm not really sure. And he's just trying to put his finger on it the whole time as she's introducing creepier and creepier things like the stuffed dog. Jesus Christ. That was rough to watch.
It's hard. He
It's
says, creeping me out forever.
oh yeah. I'm like, what did she stuff that with? Because and that she admits, oh yeah, I'm the one that did that. Oh, it's really very easy. It's
It's
like,
really
oh,
quite easy. Oh
oh
no.
boy.
Sorry, you fell out of a Tales from the Unexpected. You're straight into the dark side. This is can't end well for anyone. This is Norman Bates territory. Even I wonder when this was written prior to Psycho.
Yeah.
It's very similar in tone.
Well, it feels like Block. Yeah, I know he's not part of that core group of Fleming and Dahl and all that, but it feels like those guys were contemporaries writing at the same time and yeah, coming up with some really creepy shit.
Yeah, they all had a young lodger story in them in there somewhere.
Right.
They'd all had a poor B&B experience like us, and were warning us from decades ago. Why
Yeah.
didn't we listen?
Of course, when she reveals the dead parrot, I couldn't help thinking about the Norwegian blue and that he has to be nailed to that perch. Otherwise, he muscle up to those bars and open him up with that beak and boom.
It is an ex-parent. Oh,
And then the big reveal at the end is really, really creepy. I think they do a great job of that. Even if it's pretty simple makeup effects that they're using on these people, it works really well.
I was reminded there was a Night Gallery episode we watched where a convict breaks into a funeral home, and the funeral home director has been arranging the bodies as his family. And they ended up having actors in poor makeup just holding still, so they were all kind of wobbling, or they were just using still frames of them, which made it look worse. This was great. This was
Yeah.
freaky and fucking weird and believable as the room that these home stuffed humans were hanging out in. Good night, boys. Good
And they
night. We'll
just
have to
have
turn
that
off the light now.
yeah, they looked like they were very sallow and waxy. Oh, yeah.
And already posed so that you're forever reading a book, and she's going to change that book night after night. Oh my god, this one really creeped me out for the whole taxidermy thing, and in ways
Oh,
that
yeah.
I haven't been in previous films. Definitely more than any episode of an anthology we've watched.
Well, even just the idea of when she poisons the guy, that he can still hear her and interact a little bit, but he's basically powerless to do anything else. That whole thing, it kind of reminds me, there was a Criminal Minds that I saw years ago, which I think might have been the episode that made me stop watching Criminal Minds, where this creepazoid was taking women and turning them into living dolls. And
Oh,
I was like, oh my God, because they were just stuck there forever behind these seeing eyes and they couldn't do any freaking thing about it at all. And that for me, it was like, no, that's a bridge too far. That's way too horrific to think about.
some things just get their hooks in, man. The Landlady.
Oh, yeah. Really effective episode.
All right, moving on. The next episode is Neck. Very, very simply named. This aired on April the 28th, 1979. Again, written by Robin Chapman from the story by Roald Dahl. This one was directed by Christopher Miles, starring Michael Aldridge, Joan Collins, John Gielgud, Peter Bowles, and Carmen Silvera. This is about an adulterous woman who meets her match in the form of the family butler, a couple of years before Arthur. What'd you think of this one, Mike?
I shall inform the newspapers. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. This whole cuckolding situation, but the butler is all knowing and really does not hide his contempt for Joan Collins and really is very brazen about knowing everything that's going on. And then you have some horrible modern art in the middle of it, which is gets really played with very well. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know about you, but around me when I was a kid, our shopping malls always had art displays, which were weird, and they were almost always abstract pieces like this. So the whole idea of crawling on them always seemed like something I would want to do. I don't know if I would stick my head through an opening. And yeah, I would think that she'd be able to get that head out of there. But yeah, nice little twist at the end here, I think.
I had a friend who, whenever we would enter the wing of the modern art wing of any art museum, would approach every piece and go, "Oh my god, it's brilliant!"
Wow.
Yeah, so I was thinking that a lot as they were wandering the grounds with these giant, hideous, welded together bullshit pieces of art. Yeah, I liked this one a lot. As you said, what a weird episode as far as the sort of the wife having an affair, that it's an open situation, but it's like the husband has just given free rein to the butler to add cock blocker to his list of chores around the house. So just throwing open the door when she's trying to make it with the latest house guest. Oh, hello everyone! I heard some noises here, and I told your husband, and he's on the way. Can anything else I can do for you?
That was great. Yeah, and John Gielgud, I mean, I tend to see him in more serious roles. Yes, Arthur was a revelation, but I saw that first. So then seeing him in everything else that he's done that I'm aware of, it's always very serious. I just watched Chimes of Midnight, and there he is as Henry V or Henry IV, and it's just okay, yeah, big Shakespearean performances and can handle that so beautifully. Even his little role in Caligula, very great little performance that he does as Tiberius's aide. But here he's just, yeah, like you said, very much more in that Arthur mode where he's okay. He's not straight up hilarious, but I do enjoy him just coming in and being like, nope, nope. I'm going to let the master know everything that's going on. And yeah, I'm just going to be very brazen about talking about what a slut you are.
This could
I was,
be a, this could be a backdoor pilot for a whole other series, a spin-off of Tales of the Unexpected. This family's travails. It just starts with beheading of the matriarch.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's what happens the next day. What does John Gielgud get up to with the Lord of the Manor? Yeah, and Joan Collins, I mean, wasn't she in a movie called The Bitch? Like she can play a bitchy woman so well. I mean, that became like her stock and trade once she entered into the night of the slot of nighttime soap operas.
Right,
Yeah,
but it felt a bit mannered by the time we got her in the '80s when
true.
she was on here on television here. But here it's yeah, you can see it, man. Like I'm reminded, she was also obviously in the Tales from the Crypt first feature film, playing
Yes.
a similar role, but certainly not as apoplectic and mean. I tend to think of Billy from Creepshow, Adrienne Barbeau's character in The Crate. Like to me, that's the prototypical shrewish wife, but this one takes the goddamned cake, man. She's yelling at her husband for buying art with her money, and then like you find out later, it's all of his money. He inherited all of it. She's just the latest person he's married. Just like that level of grossness, and then like you said, brazen is the word. She just like traipses on into this kid's fucking room and starts undoing his pants. There's not even a question that she has the right to do this.
I just love when John Gielgud is unpacking the kid's suitcase and he just, oh no, no, no problem. I can, oh, I've got this lock. Oh, it's not tricky at all, sir. I've got it. I've got, oh, here, let me take out your shirt here. Let me do this. And I'm just like, oh, what's in that suitcase? What is going to get there? And I just love how he's pretending to be so dumb about things. I'm like, this is really nice. It's a real good two-hander between Gielgud and Collins. And yes, the other actors are doing a good job. They're right there. But to see these two seasons professionals going at it, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely worth the price of admission.
And just the right amount of seasoning of both of them. That's what I like. That's what I liked about the rest of the cast. And like you said, God bless. It's not like they're not working as hard as anyone else. It's just that every once in a while, a fucking a brilliant character shows up and steals the scene and makes the episode really fucking cook. And then the other one steps in to do it. Jesus Christ. All my previous fears about this series, I know we're going to get to the point where it's going to break me. But for right now, whoo, euphoric time with Mr. Roald Dahl. Even if he's going to threaten us at the beginning of every episode that we can't handle what we're going to see.
Yeah, and I notice he's starting to look. I mean, we've only seen a handful of episodes. This is only the sixth one. I think it was in this episode. I was just like, oh, I can really see his age in this. So I'm wondering if he's going to look like the Crypt Keeper before we're done with this whole show.
I certainly hope so. I want him just to be a desiccated husk screaming about parentheses.
Oh, one more thing. I love Gielgud when he talks to the kid and he's, oh, Madame has a problem where her leg or her foot might travel while they're eating or something.
Her
Just like,
left foot doesn't know what her right foot is doing,
yes,
sir.
thank you. Oh, I'm glad you remembered that or wrote that down because that was a great line.
Yeah, yeah. I liked that that was an escalation too. He kept hammering it home. Well, you're gonna find that she's a bit interesting. Okay, thank you. Yeah, she's really gonna be coming for you. Okay, pal, I get it. I'm telling you, she's coming for you.
Be careful, sir. Well, I don't want to be careful. I want this whole experience. Give me the blue plate special.
It's certainly one of the honest endings to any of the episodes.
Oh yeah.
Any anthology series we've seen, where our lead protagonists, one of our yeah, lead protagonist really, her head gets stuck in a piece of art, and then they're going to chop it off.
And that goes on for a long time.
A
Her head is
long time.
stuck in that artwork. I mean, that's almost the entire second part of the episode, I think. It's very quick in the second part before she sticks her head in there.
Yeah,
I think there's at least 10 minutes of her head stuck in that.
there's a lot of glee in the torture of this person stuck in there. Evidently,
Oh, yeah.
Roald Dahl must have known that human to be that detailed and string it along as long as he did.
Oh
Well, all
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I definitely see a lot of happiness in Gilgood when he's just doing the thing with the lard on her head and everything, just smearing that around. It's just so undignified for poor Joan Collins.
Well, I do love his very presentational carrying of the axe on the silver platter
Yes.
that they've taken down off of the wall. And he brought a saw just in case that they wanted to go the other way. Nah, gotta save the art. I don't even want petroleum jelly on that wood surface.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I have a feeling to your point, if this did carry on into a series, that piece of artwork, yeah, priceless. Don't touch it. We might even open up the episodes with that artwork.
And now I want to see that fucking series. All right. Un- until then, next time we're going to be taking a look at the next two episodes of Tales from the Unexpected. Those are episodes 7 and 8, Edward the Conqueror, and A Dip in the Pool. Until then, tell people where to find you, Mike White.
You can find me over at weirdandwaymedia.com, where every week I put out, well, most weeks. Last week I didn't, but usually I put out an episode of the projection booth. So come on over and check that out and yeah, see what else we're up to. Look, all the good stuff that Father Malone's up to.
That's true. I'm over there. You can also go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Father Malone, where you'll hear exclusive series like, well, Vault 702, where Nuka Coda Quantum and I are looking at the television series Fallout, and actually all of the Fallout properties and games and whatever. And on the regular feed, you'll hear this show, and you're going to hear every Friday Father Malone's Weekly Roundup, where I review movies with my dog. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight, everybody.